I'm glad that you stuck with the NL East, though, because that's the next topic I want to go to as we move away from the predictions for a minute and talk about what just happened in this week a little bit. And I want to go to the defending National League champs and the Philadelphia Phillies. They started the season pretty rough. They're now 1-5. They finally did get a win just the other day, but still sitting at 1-5. They were swept in their first opening series. Obviously, we're only 5-6 games in, Steve. Right. So what's going wrong with the Phillies? Should they even be worried? Is this too early to even worry about anything like this? Or are you seeing some concerns that we might need to take a look at?
It's too early to worry, but certainly Dombrowski, and his front office is already working the phones, trying to see if they can fill in some of the gaps. I mean, Rhys Hopkins is a big loss.
Right.
It really is. I mean, yes, you do get Bryce Harper back at some point. He's going to DH for you. I do think that their lineup has some hope, but when any team that Dave Dombrowski is at the helm of, I never doubt, because he is not afraid. There's certain general managers that do not flinch. Dombrowski, Jerry Dipoto in Seattle, AJ Preller in San Diego. They just don't flinch no matter what. Neander down in Tampa Bay. They don't flinch. They go out and they're aggressive and they make the moves. Milwaukee's another team that's always kind of done that. But Dombrowski already has an idea of what holes he's going to have to fill, even before the injury to Hoskins and the troubles in the bullpen. They did upgrade their bullpen. I'm not wild about Greg Kimbrell being, the ninth inning guy. I think he's valuable, in leverage situations, but not necessarily as a guy to close the games out. Dombrowski's not afraid to make the big deal, even if it's trading one of his starters or one of his younger stars. He's not afraid to do that. And plus, Dombrowski knows that when he came in, there really wasn't much talent at the upper levels of the Phillies system. It was a bad system. The fact that Dombrowski was able to make the moves he already has and got his team to the World Series last year, that's a big tribute to a guy knowing right player, right situation. They do have some talent at the lower levels now that he's basically been there for 2 drafts. I think you're going to see the Phillies farm system kind of skyrocket through the rankings if everything kind of plays out here for the midseason rankings. So, and Dombrowski is not afraid to trade somebody that people are really coveting to fill those gaps there. So I'm not worried about the Phillies. It's just one of those things you got swept.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah, it happens. It happens. You don't want it to happen. Certainly coming off, hey, we went to the World Series. Okay. I mean, so that makes it the story. This team was in the World Series, and they're one of the few teams that ever got swept in their opening series after going to the World Series. There's all those stats you can pull out. Bottom line is, we're not even a full week into the season yet, so I want to sit back. If this is happening May 1st, okay, I'm getting a little bit more nervous, because I don't know that they have as many internal answers to fill in holes. So they're going to have to go outside, but the Phillies will.
Yeah, I'm with you. I do think that it's not too much to worry about. It's way too early, obviously. And Texas did phenomenal in this opening series. I mean, they just couldn't stop scoring runs. I mean, I think they had a lot to prove as well. With all the money they spent over the last 2 years, I think they just went out and said, hey, look, we're not that same joke of a team that you thought that we were last year. We brought in a guy named Jacob deGrom, who is pretty good if you didn't know. And they just did really good. There were some pitching woes in Philadelphia in that first series. Kyle Schwarber didn't really take off until about a game or two ago. Now he's absolutely on fire in the last 2 games. Alec Boehm has done very well, I will say that. But there is a lot of question marks still on, can Philadelphia fill all these gaps and injuries? And you mentioned Rhys Hoskins. Obviously, we're waiting on Bryce Harper. There's going to be a couple hiccups as we go along. If they can just find a way to stay 500, if you will, Steve, until they get Bryce Harper back, I think they're going to be completely fine to get themselves into a wild card spot, because as you mentioned, and I'm completely in agreement with you, I think it's the Atlanta Braves division. I think it's definitely the division. I think Philadelphia's got a battle for one of those wild card spots. Go ahead, and if I'm wrong in October, so be it. But that's definitely my early reaction here on April 5th, 2023. Right.
And it's funny, neither of us have mentioned Trey Turner yet.
Yeah. I
You
mean, what a
know,
World Baseball Classic he had, but I mean, it's still, I think he's still adjusting, getting back to the league, if you will.
well, yeah, but he does everything
Oh, yeah.
excellent. I mean, he's a great fielder. He's got a good arm. He's an amazing base runner. He's got some pop in his bat as he's displayed throughout his career, not only in the World Baseball Classic. He's a good situational hitter. So Trey Turner is going to be able to create runs in a variety of ways. For the Phillies. That's a stat that nobody looks at in baseball, and that's runs created, not the analytics weighted runs created or putting pluses on things. Just
Mhm.
how many runs are you creating, in a game and then in a season? That's a stat that really should be focused on a lot more than some of the analytical things that get out there. But Trey Turner, I know you picked Julio Rodriguez, first overall. For me, Trey Turner in any fantasy league, if he's not the first pick, he's got to be the second pick, certainly.
Easily.
So the Phillies will find a way. I think they have just enough pitching to pull off what you suggested, just hang around 500 till about the All-Star break, and then let's see what happens from there.